Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Prayer versus prayer. This was the talk delivered by Swami Paramahananda Ji Maharaj, and you have all forgotten it. Thank you very much. Then we started with man have efficiency. Actually, it should be the plural. Men have efficiency and concentration and inner peace. Women don't have. This is what he has written. I am just reading. Now the last thought is its usefulness to others and joy for you. See friends, all our life is possible only when the mind is functional. If we take care of the mind, everything is sorted out. There is one Upanishad, Amrita Bindu Upanishad. In that Upanishad it is said, Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandhamokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam muktaye nirvishayam smrutam. All the problems and their solutions are contained within the mind. When the mind is involved in an objective pursuit, it leads to bondage. And when the mind is liberated from the objective pursuit, it is free. And every one of us wants freedom. Alas, instead of discovering freedom, we get entangled more and more because we do not have a clear picture about the working of the mind. Mind is knowledge. Consciousness is also knowledge. Then what is the difference between the two? See? The question is like this. Man is man and husband is also man. Now what is the difference between the two? The man is never miserable and husband is never happy. If they are two, there should be different qualities, but they are not. What is the reason? See friends, because husband lives objectively. Wherever knowledge has a predominance of objectivity, it is called as mind. When the knowledge does not have objectivity, it is called as consciousness. So the path is, we start from the objective world, come to the subjective aspect of knowledge, and thereafter we come to the consciousness, and thereafter we transcend the consciousness and go beyond the inertness versus consciousness. This is the path. And this journey is not in time, this journey is not in space, this journey doesn't lead you anywhere and you reach nowhere. This is the path, this is the goal. In one of his writings, Santa Gyaneshwar writes something very beautiful. This is the path and this is the goal. They are not two. Like we are in this big hall and there are bathrooms and other rooms, etc. So when I walk from here, this hall to the bathroom, this hall becomes a path and bathroom becomes a destination. See? You must have seen in your houses when children are small, at night they wake up, they want to go to bathroom. And they say, Mummy, please come, I have to go to bathroom, I am afraid to go alone. It is dark. So for the child, They are different thing. But a mother is so wise for a change. And she said, don't worry beta, I am with you. So for her, the bedroom and the bathroom, they are not two. They are the path as well as the goal. But for the child, they are separate. In the same manner, the real spiritual practice is, we don't have to reach anywhere, we don't have to gain anything in life. I'll tell you today the ultimate. The ultimate is, in Kathopanishad, towards the end, the concluding mantra comes. Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yasya vridishritaha atha mardyaha amruto bhavati atra brahma samashnute. When we carry zero desire burden on our head, desire free experience is God realization. What we have been doing throughout our life? Only one thing. Try to fulfill the desires. Try to fulfill the desires. But we have never learned from our own experiences that we fulfill one desire, the second is standing in the queue. You fulfill the second desire, the third is standing in the queue. And our whole life, if we are to write our autobiography in one sentence, what we'll write? We tried to fulfill our desires, but till date, we have not succeeded. See, friends. Therefore, Vedanta tells us, don't struggle to get freedom in this world. Get freedom from I. Who is experiencing the bondage? See, friends. And once this is understood, then you have understood everything. See? Therefore, what is the problem that we all have? Our problem is, the problem we can call it as Arjunitis. We are all suffering from this infection called as Arjunitis. Now what is Arjuna's problem? His problem is, Bhagavan Krishna says, Yada te moha kalilam buddhirvati tarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nishchalam samadhavachala buddhi tada yogam avapsasi. In these two verses, Bhagavan says, Mr. Arjun, you have been listening to so many things, so many times, and as a result, there is a khichdi in your head. So when we go to Gangaji, Gangadas. When we go to Jamnaji, Jamnadas. When we come home, Devdas. We are absolutely confused. Moha Kalila is this mud of confusion. See, friends. So what is the confusion? Confusion number one, about our identity. Confusion number two, about the world. Confusion number three, about God. And confusion number four, about the spiritual practice. Bhagavan Shankara says, Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Athavadanam Jnana Vihina Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena Bhaja Govindam Bhaja Govindam. For us, spiritual practice is go to the Gangaji and wash your sins and make Gangaji impure and come out. Or go somewhere and give some charity. See, friends, once I was in Vrindavan and so many places where Bhagwan's Leela had happened. So they took me, I also went. And at Panditji they were telling, Swamiji, get one stone fixed with your name and all that, See, so many people have done. It won't cost you much. It will be hardly costing you some 2,500 rupees. I said, okay, get it done. And you pay also, don't mind. No, if you do this thing, you will go to heaven. See, friends, the biggest bluff in every religion is heaven and hell. Masses can be controlled by a remote control of two buttons. Number one, guilt. Number two, fear. So we are told, if you do this thing, you will go to heaven. And then we go on imagining, heaven kaisa hoga? Wahan Coca-Cola milega? Kathopanishad defines heaven very clearly. Swarge loke na bhayam kinchanasti, na tatratvam, na jaraya vibheti, ubhe tirtva ashanaya pipase, shokatigo modate swargaloke. See, loka means experience. Loka is not a place. See, like Auckland is a place. In the same manner, Swarga is not a place. But we do that. To our house we write Swarga. Do you remember last time I came, I told you one very beautiful thing I heard somewhere. हमने सुना था शादी के बाद घर स्वर्ग हो जाता है. हमने सुना था शादी के बाद घर स्वर्ग हो जाता है. लो, हमने शादी क्या करी, स्वर्गवासी हो गए. The Swarga is not a place. Lokam is experience. That kind of experience is a heavenly experience. Which is that experience? The first step. In Bhagavad Gita, so it comes, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi. So, Swarge Loke Na Bhayam Kinchanasti. Leading a fear-free life. That is heaven. And we are constantly worried, constantly afraid. I am afraid I'll get tea in the morning or not. I am afraid there will be sufficient sugar or not. I am afraid in this earthquake I will survive or not. Constant fear. That is hell. Swarge loke na bhayam kinchanasti. We all have 6 reasons to be fearful in life. 2 reasons on account of our gross body. In Gujarati, they don't say gross body, they say gross body. They are very sweet people. To such an extent that on the good they add sugar and eat. So, 2 problems, fears with reference to the gross body. Jara mrityu, old age and the death. These are the 2 burdens of fear that we carry in life. The second 2 are with reference to the pranamaya kosha, ashana pipase, hunger and thirst. And the third pair of problems that we carry is with reference to the mind, shoka and the moha. Shoka is the grief and moha is delusion. Those who are carrying the burden of these 6 things, they are living in hell. Those who are free from this, they are living in heaven. But we are told, if you do this thing, you will go to hell. If you do this thing, you will go to heaven. I remember there was one man, he was asking me some kind of question. This happened in US. I was, spending time pass on some mall. I always like to go to malls rather than go to the temples. Vienna it happened. Vienna is a very old city where Hitler used to live earlier. And many beautiful galleries are there and old palaces and mansions. So it must be tradition there. They say, Swamiji, today we are going to see Vienna city and we will show you everything. So when I went, I said, am I obliged to go where you have to take me or I have some freedom? No, Swamiji, you have freedom. I said, then let us go to the marketplace. You don't like to see the monarch who was staying, what type of jewelry they had and all that. I said, look here, what you have learned from me in last 5 days retreat, tell me in one sentence. Swamiji, you have been insisting to live in the present. I said, very good. Now if you take me to that king who died 700 years before, you are taking me to the graveyard. Then when you go in the marketplace, you are living today. Therefore, when I was in one of those places, one person came and said, do you believe in Jesus? I said, no. You don't believe? I said, yes, I believe, but in Lord Jesus, not Jesus. He is not your pal. Today I received one very nice email. One drunkard, he was going somewhere and some priest was giving them the baptism. Put them in the river, take them out. Have you seen Jesus? They will say, yes, this will also will. He was put and burned. Have you seen Jesus? He said, no. Again, twice, thrice, 4 times. And finally when he was pulled out, have you seen? But did he fall here? Because I had tried, I did not get. Very unfortunate. So, I said, I believe in Lord Jesus. He is not your pal. You call him my singular way. Okay. You believe? I said, yes. Then you are a Christian? I said, yes. But you said you are a Hindu? I said, yes, I am Hindu also. He got annoyed. How it can be? Both. I said, latest technology, 2 in 1. There is the problem. When I said like this thing, he got angry. He said, if you say, you will go to hell. Then I asked him, excuse me, where will you go? He said, I will go to heaven. Then I will prefer to go to hell. You are there. Better to go to hell. See, friends, this hell, heaven, sin, merit, this is for KG1, KG2, KG3. Enough of it. See, friends, lead a fear-free life. And we all have the fear about old age and death. मरने के बाद क्या होगा? When you are alive, nothing has happened. Maybe there will be peace in the world. When we lead life free from this fear of old age and death, then alone we are walking the spiritual path. Otherwise, all the time, one example I'll give you. There was one elderly man, I used to call him Kaka. He took me, some of his friend died. Swamiji, please come. So I went. We are fit for everything. When somebody dies, we go. When somebody doesn't die, we go. Marta bhi nahi. So I went there and the dead body was lying. So according to the tradition, Gujarati person, so some flowers were kept. So we put the flower, did pradakshina. When he is alive, not even a cup of tea is asked. When he is dead, all things are done. Maybe the farewell. And when I sat down, Swamiji, speak on Bhagavad Gita. I said, he is not hearing. See, to whom to talk? Keep quiet. Sit with a swollen face. And get out. And when we came out, he was driving. And he said, Swamiji, now I think my number is due. I said, stop the car. Then I told him, I said, Kaka, you told me once, do you remember, that you have been listening to Vedanta for more number of years than my age. This happened about 30-40 years before. He used to tell me, Swamiji, I have been listening to Vedanta even before you were born. I said, this is what you have learned. If you have studied Vedanta, you have lost freedom. to be miserable, to be fearful, and to imagine your death. If we think that we have studied Vedanta and we are worried about our death, we have not studied anything. See, friends, the two steps which Vedanta tells us. First, get rid of the body identification. The second step is get rid of the notion that you are a jiva, you are a soul. Go to Goa and make a soul curry and drink. Goa people, they drink soul curry. Highly spiritual. There is nothing like soul, soul, soul. Don't get carried away by all this nonsense. So the wrong notion, moha kalila, the doubts, the confusion that we have in our mind is about these four things. Let us take one by one, sort it out. And then, tada yogam avapsasi, then you are one with the reality. So first step is about our identity, as to what we are. So we start. Our expertise is blaming others for our miseries. This is our expertise. If I am a husband, the cause of my misery is my wife. If I am a wife, the cause of my misery is my hubby. If I am a father, the cause of my misery is children. If I am a child, the cause of my misery is Hitler. Standard default settings. Easily. Till such time, our mind is extrovert and we start blaming others for our miseries. We have not stepped on the spiritual path. First, we have to be responsible for our life. Nobody is responsible for our life. But then how do we practice it? It is for this purpose. Our scriptures give us this knowledge. What the scriptures tell us? One man came and he was talking to me. He said, Swamiji, I don't know, other people get good wives, why did I get such a terrible wife? I said, look here, the grass on the other side of the fence is always green. There is nothing like that, a good wife. The only wife. Worry is invited forever. W-I-F-E. There is nothing like that. Don't worry about it. And he was so serious and so disturbed. I told him, I said, look here. You know who is a wife? Wife is default revenge taken by the nature on you. How it is? I said, in the last life, you have tortured her. And therefore, she has come in this life again to take the revenge. Not only that, she is practicing Karwa Chauth. She is not going to leave you for next 7 lives. Oh God, Swamiji, you are frightening me. That is the truth. What can I do? Then I said, now, first of all, stop blaming her for your miseries, because if you are sown, the chilies, tomatoes will not come. You have tortured her, so she is taking the revenge. But now what can I do? Yes, I can tell you that. Now behave properly with her. Now bring these two things together. Stop blaming the world and lead a decent life. These two things, when you practice consciously, you will be at peace with yourself. Such a person alone can walk the spiritual path. Prasanna chetaso yashu buddhi paryavatishtate. Bhagavad Gita says, the one who is cheerful and happy, he alone can think of God. A miserable person can never think of God. Imagine you have a root canal and use it for meditation. What will be your mudra? What is this mudra? Oh, this is sentimental mudra. A miserable person cannot think of God. Think, friends. And we are responsible for our miseries. Nobody is responsible. It is for this purpose that the scriptures tell that be responsible for your life. Don't blame others. Its first purpose to make us aware about our own identity. Now the second purpose. When we are told, before this body was born, we were there in some other form, we will continue to be in another form after this body is destroyed, what does it mean? It means we are a continuous, unbroken existence. Before I came to Auckland, I was in Bombay. Before I came to Bombay, I was in Calcutta. Before coming to Calcutta, I was in Tinsukia, Assam. Before that, I was in Arunachal Pradesh. Before that, I was in Delhi. Before that, I was in Jaipur. Did I ever die? Going from one place to another place. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuyati. When the childhood body, everybody will come, lift you, hug you, kiss you. But I don't know lately what happened. Whenever people look at me, they take the old newspaper upside down and start reading. I am the same. Why people don't love me as they used to love me when I was a child? Nobody had the experience that he has changed. He has grown. Nobody has the experience. It is the body which is constantly changing. Tatha dehantara prapti. In the same manner, when this body is dropped, nothing happens to us. If we have understood this principle in later and spirit, fear for old age and death will disappear. But we are all the time carrying the load. And the stories also are so lovely. Then what is told in Bhagavad, is it wrong? What is told in Bhagavad? They said there was the story of Jad Bharat. So he was a king after whom India is named as Bharat. And after ruling the world for 10,000 years, he discarded, went to the forest, did tapasya. But there he got involved with a deer, baby deer. And then got so much involved that forgot everything. And all the time, my baby deer, my baby deer. And when the deer became grown up, mature, puberty, then it went with his own friends. And his so-called yogi, frustrated, my deer has never taken the grass with his own mouth. I used to feed him. I used to give him milk. Now how he will live there? My dear, my dear. And one day he dies. Next life, he is born as a deer. This story is so enchanting. But what is the meaning? Meaning is this. All the time, my doggy, my doggy, my doggy, my doggy, my doggy. I don't know how can I go anywhere. My dog is there alone at home. How can I leave him? And one day, doggy, doggy, Next life, See, friends, come to cognize the principle. The principle is, we are unbroken, continuous existence. And therefore, we neither have the experience of our birth, our growth, our death, and our absence. Don't deny your own experience. Work on this. That is spiritual life. Otherwise, I am afraid what will happen to my wife and my children when I die. They are waiting. Die. See, friends. So our identity has to be corrected. And what is that identity? We are functioning through the body as someone who is other than the body. This world comes into existence only when we are identified with the body. See, I keep on changing the places every few days. So whenever I sleep, at least first or second night, I always keep the lights on. Because I don't know where I am. This side is the bathroom, this side is the temple, nothing is known. So when the light is there, at least you can get your wits. So we are constantly changing. In the deep sleep, where are we? What are we? We are nobody. The world, time, space and object disappears. Because we are not identified with the body. The moment we are identified with the body, immediately, where I am, space. What is the time? Time. And what I have to do? The doer is born. And after the body identification, then the secondary eyes are born. Then I am a mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife. And who is miserable? Be very clear in this. All those who are miserable, they are somebody. And that somebody is born only after body identification. So what should be the spiritual practice? Only this. Attain freedom from body identification. It is for this yoga is practice. It is for this devotion is practice. It is for this karma yoga is practice. It is for this knowledge is taught. No other purpose. Not for sending us to hell and heaven. That is not the purpose. See, friends. And once we come to this, that the embodied is other than the body, your orientation of thinking will change. See? Like there are eyes behind the glasses. Glasses are not looking at you. There are eyes behind the glasses. Similarly, there is mind behind the eyes. Similarly, there is consciousness behind the mind. When the glasses break, nothing happens to the eyes. When the eyes become blind, nothing happens to the mind. When the mind is enfolded as in deep sleep, nothing happens to me, the pure consciousness. This is the journey. What do we lose and what do we get in this world? See, friends, when you thus start working on this I factor, you have got max factor, isn't it? Yeah, I factor. Work on this I factor. Who is this I? Without working on this, we simply go to the Mahatmas and to the temple. We go to the temple. Oh Lord, Hanumanji, my examination is coming. I have not studied anything but somehow jugaad karo, pass karo. See, friends. Therefore, work on this. How do we attain freedom from body identification? It is for this purpose that we have the various paths only to attain freedom from body identification. One of them is meditation. Why I am talking about meditation? Because it's a fashion these days. Any Tom, Dick and Harry want to do meditation. Swamiji, do you deal in meditation? These are the questions we come across. Say, yes, I do deal, but only wholesale. No retail. And their idea is meditation means what? You can sit in one posture for a long period of time, meditation. Then all the buffaloes in the world are the greatest yogi. They sit right in the center of the road, let the trucks come. They keep on chewing the chewing gum. Kya karna hai kar lo. That cannot be meditation. Never do meditation. Please understand this principle. Don't do meditation. Unless you want to suffer. Meditation is a silent suffering collectively in the darkness so that both the teacher and the student can sleep. And when the light is on, everybody is awakened from sleep. That is not the way. Play meditation to attain freedom from body identification. How do you do that? When you sit quiet, immediately start playing. What will be the experience to be other than the body? Play. What will be the experience that being other than the table? So if there is 1 kilogram of rice is kept on the table, should I have to bend down? Vajan aa gaya? No. When something is removed, do I feel light? No. Because I am someone other than the table, is it not? In the same manner, play. When you are sitting, play. What will be the experience of being other than the body? Now take the attributes of the body. These attributes cannot be my attributes because I am someone other than the body. So the first attribute of the body has a shape, a form. Now we are playing meditation. What must be the experience of being formless and shapeless? See? You have done nothing. You are only playing meditation. This vision will be repeated million times in every experience. Once I was in Honolulu with my friend and we went to some Chinese restaurant for food. So by the time he was sorting it out, there was a big aquarium inside that hotel. So as usual I went with my camera and I was taking some pictures. He came, he said, Swamiji, what are you seeing? Do you like fish? I said, you imagine what I am seeing. Maybe you are seeing fish. I said, no. Maybe there is a snake. I said, no. Maybe there is a lot of, beautiful flowers, things kept inside. I said, no. Maybe the color combination. I said, no. Maybe the size of the aquarium. I said, no. I don't know what you are seeing. I said, okay, I will tell you. I am seeing the water. I said, what is there to see in the water? I said, I am trying to experience what must be the experience of the water when the fish moves inside the water. Will the water get tickling? Hey, don't move, yaar. What will be the experience of the water when few more fish are added? Hey, aur mat dalna, bahut bhari ho gaya. When you remove all the fish from the waters, is it a loss to the water? Think. Is it not Bhagavad Gita? Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledayantyapaha, na shoshayati marutaha. So, the space is not cut by the shastra, earth, not made wet by the waters, nor it is burned by the fire, nor it is dehydrated by the air. This story is about us. Play now this. This is what is called as trying to attain your correct identity. Play. Body has shape. Shapes are many. Formless space which does not have shape is one. Shapes and forms are born, modify, and are destroyed. The formless space is neither born, nor modifies, nor destroyed. Is it not our experience? In deep sleep, what is our shape? What is our form? What is our size? What is our age? Yet we are. Work on this. Play in this manner. And when you start working on this on a daily basis, one day by God's grace, it will click. It is something like when you learn swimming, one day it clicks. First you go and then, but if you are only theoretical Vedanti, lipstick Vedanti means one who has the Vedanta stuck on the lips. Lipstick. So, we go on writing the notes. When you jump into the water, first right hand up, then left hand lower, and then right hand. And then argument. Should we jump into the water without knowing how to swim? No. But without jumping into the water, can we learn swimming? No. Then, chicken first or the egg first? Banta Singh was asked this question. Chicken first or egg first? Banta Singh says, simple. Whatever you order first, that will come first. So, what we have to do, although we do not know how to swim, we have to jump. And then let the water go inside, outside. Struggle. And when you start swimming, you will not be able to write it down exactly what do you mean by swimming. See? In the same manner, yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. This experience cannot be caught in the limitations of the words. See, friends. Therefore, play meditation. Focus attention on your own being, not on the prakriti, on the body, sitting in this manner, that manner, this leg here, and then do Padmasana, and you get locked and then call the police. That is not meditation. That is the cartoon of meditation. See? Similarly, they will be, we go do meditation, we go for special meditation retreat. And what is that? Don't talk to anybody. Don't look at anybody. And the whole atmosphere is as if we are in a silent neighborhood. You know silent neighborhood? A graveyard. It's called a silent neighborhood. And everybody is not talking to each other by mouth, but inside. You must have seen in India, old trucks which carry heavy loads, when the slope is upward and the red light comes, they have to stop. But they are not pakka, whether the truck will again start or not. So they don't switch off. And then, and it is standing there only. Our meditation is like that. We sit down. And the more you struggle, mind should not have thoughts. And then you see their, impression, facial expression. There was a centipede and there was a crow. So the centipede was comfortably going, enjoying life. The crow came and asked, "Excuse me, yes, I have got two legs. I know how to walk. When I lift one leg, I put it, then I lift the other leg, put it. This is how I walk. You have got 100 legs. How do you decide which leg to be lifted when?" Now the centipede can't move. We are like that centipede. Meditation. क्या करें? Whether there should be yoga mattress, whether there should be Rudraksha mala, whether there should be Spatika mala, whether there should be a .com, what should? And that is our spirituality. See, friends, become more and more awareness oriented. Be attentive. On others we concentrate. Yesterday we have done this thing. But as regards self is concerned, it is awareness. There is no self-concentration. There is self-awareness. This experience you can very clearly recognize. You are listening to me with concentration. This is just an example, I know you are not. So you are listening me with concentration. Now don't listen to me with concentration. Simply be aware what I am talking. And when you simply remain aware, the talk that is going on, you will not be tired. See? And if somebody is hard of hearing, he or she will be tired very early because more and more efforts. See, friends. Therefore, when you thus come to recognize this first step, that this I is embodied and not the body. This is what Bhagavad Gita tells. This we don't accept, but we like that story. The this story comes in Yoga Vasishta. The Aya was always asked by the prince, Mama, please tell the story before we go to sleep. Now, every day what story you can tell? So she started telling, there was a kingdom and there were three princes. And they decided to go for a long journey. So they had 3 horses. And the 2 horses were dead and one was never born. And then they rode the 3 horses. And when they are going by the sky path, on the way, they came across a huge forest. And in that forest, there were many beautiful fruit trees. And from one tree, they plucked the 3 fruits. 2 fruits were not there and 1 fruit was never born. And then they ate it. And the children are listening. And they sleep. Story over. Again next day. Yesterday I told you story, I'll continue further. Again the children are listening. Exactly the same way. This particular theme is brought out by Eknath Maharaj in his write-up. On the tip of a thorn there were 3 villages. And in that 3 villages, 2 were barren, 1 had no population. And in that one village there were 3 pot makers. 2 were not born, 1 was dead. And then they made the 3 pots. 2 were raw and 1 was not baked. And then they went to sail those pots, they came across 3 rivers. 2 were dry, in 1 there was no water. And then they went ahead and to this market. And they sold. And they got 3 rupees. Dono khote ek chalet na. 2 were fake and 1 was not there. Now what do you understand out of this story? This is the story of our life. See, friends, the more you become aware of your presence, mind will stop bothering you. Controlling mind involves efforts. Remaining in awareness involves no efforts. And when you come to this point, now we are clear. Bhagavan says, idam shariram kaunteya kshetramitya vidhiyate etadyo vettitam prahu kshetrajne iti tadvidaha. This body, the kshetra, the field, and owner, the knower of this body, the kshetrajna, popularly called as jiva, the soul. And as we accept, there is a soul per shoe, in the same manner, there is a soul per body. See, friends. But in that second verse, same Bhagavan Krishna says, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. I alone express through all the things and beings. But this second verse we bypass. And we are very much enchanted. Shuchi nam Sri Matam Gehe Yoga Vrashto Vijayate Athava Yoginam Eva Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. In the last life, those who were yogis and they had lot of desires unfulfilled, they are born in rich and good families. And those who didn't have any desires, they are born in the pious yogis' families and they grow spiritually. Are Dumbo, this is a story. See, friends. Don't get carried away by this. Then you start inquiring, who am I? If I am not the body, then who am I? One young boy in an engineering college in Kharagpur asked me this question. After the talk was over, he asked, one question, Swami, yes, who am I? He asked me the question. I said, shall I tell you the truth or bluff? I have got both the answers. He said, for a change, tell the truth. I said, you are dumb. Do you mean Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi was dumb? I said, no. This is his book. And he didn't ask me this question. You asked me this question. Friends, who am I? This question can pop up in your mind only if you accept yourself to be someone other than the body. When I accept myself to be the body, this question is invalid. I am a man, I am woman, I am young, I am old, I am husband, I am wife, I am happy, I am miserable, I am educated, I am overeducated. Where is the question? The real question will come. If I am someone other than the body, then who am I? And then the answer given to us by the scripture, you are a jiva. And we accept it. Like Paramatma, we talk in terms of Satchidananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam, Parame Vyomanna, Soshnute Sarvan Kaman Sah, Brahmana Vipaschiteti. What is the Paramatma? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That with his conscious blissful existence, he who comes to recognize this, all his desires stand fulfilled simultaneously. When this is spoken about, the absolute reality, why don't you inquire? When you say you are jiva, please define jiva. What do you mean by jiva? But we accept, hum jiva hai. Find out who is the jiva. See, can we talk about a husband without man and the wife? Who is the husband? Husband is man, the original reality, expressing through the limitations of a conditioning called as a wife, is a husband. Think. And who is this miserable person husband who doesn't exist? See, friends, just get into this line of thinking. All your problems will be dissolved. Then the same problem where I was in US. One Gujarati family, I went for food and lunchtime. I said, hey, where is your son? Swamiji is sleeping in his room. You go and wake him up. Nobody gives you free food. So I went to his room and he was a huge structure. 6 plus, 4 plus, sleeping diagonally on a big bed in a bhujangasana. So when I saw, I did not dare wake him up. Bhujanga may do something. So I came out and I told maybe he's not well. No, Swamiji is okay. He is always like that, very lazy. And I said, my God, now my food is spoiled. But I am very expert in changing the topics. This Diksha I got from Bhagavan Krishna directly. If you want to really live happily, learn this idea, this technique of changing the topic. Because people, when they talk to you, they are not serious. You unnecessarily become serious. You change the topic. So, I said, hey, khane ko kya banaya hai? And then I said, come on, join for food. No, you take food. I said, anyway, I came for that, I'll do that. And again he started. He was committed to make me miserable. He started. Swamiji, these days children don't listen to us. Back home, a standard phrase. Back home, when our parents used to be there, we used to be so obedient, we used to listen to them. Why these days children don't listen to us? I said, look here, we were lucky to have good parents. Our children are unfortunate. They have got dumb parents and therefore they don't listen to us. Friends, stop complaining, stop. Then alone you can focus attention on your own being. So who is a father, who is a mother? It is not an individuality, it is just a phenomena. See? One lady, when she told me about her life, Swamiji, had you come in my life, I would not have divorced 3 times. I said, anyway, you ask the question, now I also ask you a question. Barter system. My question is, when you got married for the first time, that time you were W1 and your husband was H1. For understanding, W1 H1 pair. Then you separated. Then again you got married. Then W2 H2. Second pair. Third time W3 H3. Now that also gone. Now my question is, W1 is equal to W2 is equal to W3 is equal to what? Where the 3 wives have gone? And who was miserable? The wife was miserable. And you are not able to define wife. See, in the same manner, what is Jiva? Jiva is consciousness expressing through any limitation is called as a Jiva. Whenever unknown is indicated, it is indicated by X, is it not? Like in your mathematics, the questions are asked. In somebody's house I went for food as my profession. So, the child was told by the mother, you ask Swamiji any question, he knows everything. And the child came, Swamiji, mummy told me you know everything. This is the problem in our mathematics and I am not able to solve. You please help me. Mathematics I even can't count properly. That is the reason I am Babaji. So, but it was a question of prestige. I had to behave that I am wise. So, I said, what is the problem? He read the problem. There is a water tank. It has got 2 holes. One is inlet, one is outlet. When the outlet is closed, inlet is open, the water tank gets filled in 75 minutes. And when the totally filled water tank inlet is closed and outlet is open, then it gets emptied in 65 minutes. If the tank is empty and both the inlet and outlet are simultaneously open, when will the tank be filled in? I said, I don't agree with this question. Why? Don't waste water. First of all, fill in the tank and then use it properly. This is a bad question. So what we do, we take the unknown entity as, suppose the water tank will be filled in X minutes, is it not? And then if you simply write, suppose the water tank will be filled in X minutes and supply or submit your answer paper, will you get marks? You have to establish the value of X, is it not? In the same manner, I, the embodied, is Jiva. Establish the value of Jiva. Who is Jiva? Think. Somebody says, Papo hum Papo karma hum maan liya. Find out who is the Jiva. Show me where is the Jiva. See, friends, then we are told consciousness, which is infinite, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, when expresses through any limitation, that limited expression of the infinite, that phenomenon is called as Jiva. Jiva is not an entity, it is not an individuality. See, friends, but we are Moha Kalilam. We are told 101 times. See, last life you have done this. There is a good friend of mine, very great yogi. He tells, Swamiji, I have that power. I can tell I can know my life also. Last 7 life he tells about himself. I was in Jabalpur, then I was in Dehradun. Like that he goes on telling. And in my last 7th life, I was a parrot. He said, I can tell yours also, if you want. But unless you want, I cannot tell. I said, I don't want. Why? I said, everywhere I am alone born. Without me, nobody is there. No, please. I said, no, I don't believe in that principle. Why should I want? But we get carried away by that. Friends, when the consciousness expresses through stones and bricks, that expression is only existence. When the same reality expresses through the plant kingdom, the expression is existence plus life. The same reality, when expresses through the conditioning of the animal kingdom, the expression is existence, life and knowledge. When the same reality expresses through the conditioning of a human form, it is existence, life, knowledge and bliss. The same electrical energy expressing through the bulb, light, through the fan, movement, through the amplifier, noise. Does it mean that there are different electricities? In the same manner, one conscious reality expressing through the man's body allows the beard to grow. The same conscious reality expressing through the cow gives nutritious milk. The same reality going through the cobra produces venom. Does it mean it is a poisonous reality, it is a nutritious reality, and it is a humane reality? No. Differences are on account of the conditionings through which that one reality is expressing. Is it not one man with the conditioning of his father, he is called as a son. The same man with the conditioning of his wife, he is called as a husband. The same man with the conditioning of his son, he is called as a father. Has he become 3? And who is miserable? Man is never miserable. The conditioned expressions are miserable. Why they are miserable? Because they think husband is a proper noun. No, it is a common noun. No husband in the world is ever happy, including Bhagwan Ram. But we become so serious about it. Come back to your essential nature. Then moha kalilam, this confusion born out of this wrong understanding will be erased. See friends, the net result will be, you have nothing to do, nowhere to go. Then life is just a time pass. See friends, the day you discover this principle, you will be a source of inspiration and joy to anyone who comes in your contact. Therefore, we have to work on this wrong notion about our identity as to what we are. Can I be the body which is constantly changing? Can I be the relations? Can I be the possessor? Can I be the jiva, the soul? Or I am the one? Kshetrajnam chapi mam viddhi sarva kshetreshu bharat. Is it not one mind coming out of the eyes is called as vision. The same mind coming out of the ears is called as the hearing ability. The same mind coming out of the nose is called as the poking ability. Mind is the same. There are not many minds. See friends, the one who is living at the level of the mind, he will never be a slave to the sense organs. The one who has transcended the mind, he will never be a slave to the different expressions. See friends. And to come to this cognition, we have to recognize what the world is. The first wrong notion was about ourselves. Now the second wrong notion is about the world. When we talk about the world, what do we mean by the world? The five great elements, their qualities, the five sense organs, they are all created by God. The five objects, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, there is no problem. The sense organs which comprehend them, there is no problem. The problem begins when in the God's creation, we create our creation. Woman is created by God. No problem. Out of that woman, how many fictitious entities are created by us? The father looks at her as a daughter, not as a woman. The husband looks at her as a wife. The son looks at her as a mother. So out of that one lady, which is God's creation, where there is no misery, but our creation is nothing but misery. Therefore, these two principles recognize possessions and relations. These are the two burdens that we carry on our head. The day you recognize this, you will not become serious about anything. Life becomes light. Then comes the principle of God, who created this world. One lady frustrated came and asked me, why did God create this terrible world? I said, to trouble you. No, please tell me. I said, look here. Why don't you directly ask God, why did He create this world? And when you will see Him, your questions will disappear. He prays. So who is this God who created this world? Be attentive. A very simple thing I'll tell you. When you are happy by getting something, you are a jiva. When you discover happiness in sharing something, you are God. How simple it is. And we all experience this. Tyage naike amrutatva manashu. One old man, maybe about 70, 80, when I went to his place in Delhi, Noida it happened, I said, Uncle Brigadier Saab, how are you? He said, Swamiji, good news. I said, in this old age, what good news? He said, I stopped smoking. I said, what is great about it? Swamiji, you don't know. I have been smoking for the last 50 years. I have stopped smoking. And I tell you, I am so happy. See, the real happiness is not in getting. The real happiness is in giving. Give up, give up. And that is what we all do in deep sleep. We give up everything, all possessions, all relations. And we remain as Mr. Nobody. Therefore it is rightly said, nobody is happy. It is true. Mr. Nobody alone is happy. Somebody is always miserable. See, friends. So discover this God principle in your own heart. See, friends. And he who has discovered this God principle in his heart, he is always cheerful and happy.
Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om